Hi, I'm Duncan from Fishhead, and today we're looking at the Zenaq Defi Muthos Accura 100HHH. This is the heaviest rod in their shore casting range and is designed for chasing bigger tunas, big kingfish, mackerels, GTs, all that sort of stuff. It is in the Ocean Guide version, or what they call this the GT spec, because it runs the Fuji reel seat, but also large MNSG guides for the strippers and larger guides all the way through to the tip. So larger K guides, similar to what you'd find on a GT spec rod. I think number 16s are the minimum size there. How it stays similar to the Accura range is that they didn't make it too stiff. So they kept with the Accura style of having a softer tip initially, and then that steady ramp up right through the rod. So making it comfortable for anglers was definitely a priority for this rod. I've seen some rods, even past iterations of Zenaq HHH power rods, where they're extremely brutal and very hard on the angler. This one, they worked hard to make it a lot easier on the angler. So as you can see, yep, we ran through the guides, settings. I think just move on to the casting. Okay, this is the Accura 100HHH. We've got the 75 gram lure, so it's the EBSC 190, which is 65 grams. With the hooks on, it's around 75. Real easy casting with that 75 grammer, so bangs that out a long way. So yeah, no trouble fishing the lighter into the range for this rod, and pulls the popper through the water very well, as you would expect. Still got pretty decent feel as well through the tip of the rod. So if you wanted to fish 70, 80 gram stick baits, I'd say no trouble. Maybe some of the delicate floaters might be a little bit harder work on this one, but any of the sinking stick baits or more aggressive stick baits are going to work really nicely. All right, so we're at 130 gram cast weight now with the FCL CSP 220 floater. This is right into the happy spot of its range. You can feel it loading nicely through the rod. Very easy casting, getting a good decent cast length. Tip wise, yeah, still working the stick bait nicely, so no dramas with the floating stick bait, not wanting to rip it, just getting a nice dip and swim really easy. And 10-foot rod obviously really sweeps it a long way each time. So if you just slow it down a touch, just use the tip, get a nice darting, walk the dog style retrieve as well if you just give it gentle twitches. Okay, so the big lure, we're at a bit over 200 grams with this big glide stick bait. So this is rated to cast up to 200 grams plugs and 250 gram jigs. So it'll be more of a lob cast once you start to get out to this level, but it does certainly load up and throw it out there quite nicely. So yeah, it has no problems actually casting at that bit over its recommended weight. And it swims the big stick bait really well. So if you did want a rod to throw some giant stick baits off the rocks, this is certainly the one to do it. The tip's got just enough in it to just flex and fling the stick bait nicely, get a good walk the dog action going on. Nice big gliding, as the name suggests, gliding side to side. You can see that soft tip straight away starting to fold for you. And that's it. Fairly comfortable for the rod, but also quite hard work on the angler with the long rod with the leverage. Okay, so when we cast this rod, I was expecting it to be pretty hard on the body. You know, you don't get to throw all these big weights with a long rod like this without putting in some effort. But I was pleasantly surprised that, especially at the lighter end, that 60 to 80 gram range, it handled the lures really nicely and didn't feel as hard on the body as I thought it would be. So that's definitely a bonus. Going through the range of lures, it certainly handled right up to the 200 plus gram range. It threw them no problem, although definitely once you're getting up to 200 grams, throwing them on a 10-foot rod, it takes a fair bit of effort to wind up and get them going. But in general, I would say just using it for long sessions, it's a lot easier on the body than I was expecting. So definitely a more comfortable rod than some past rods that I've used in this kind of class. So that was a big bonus. When it came to lifting power, we lifted 8 kilos on it. I feel like it could definitely do more, but certainly with the leverage of a long rod, if you're going to be poling big fish up the rocks and stuff like that, then I think often the 8'6", more boat style rods may be well worth looking at. But definitely for big fish in rough country where you've got to steer the fish around bommies and broken water and stuff like that, this Triple H rod really will come into its own there, where you can put a lot of power on as the fish are moving around in the broken water, that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely not the rod for everyone, but if you have a need for a longer rod with lots of power, but you still want to have it to be versatile enough to fish a wide variety of lures and be relatively comfortable to fish for long sessions, then this is a really great choice. Come back next week and we'll have some more videos for you.